I would like to welcome you to the upper echelon. I want you to be honest and don't you lie. Don't you think of lying. Be for real. You're not a Bud Crawford fan. You just hate Spence, right? Hate it or love it, the underdogs on top. Fight fans worldwide, this is Upper Echelon Sports Bar, where we maintain boxing at its finest form. It's facts over feelings here. We not a boxer fan, but we are boxing fans. So that means it's non-biased, even though you think it may be no. We love all boxers because we love the sport of boxing, and we hope to progress it and get away from this false narrative that it's going in. So y'all sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride because Upper Echelon's in the building, and we gonna keep it ready. Shalom, kings and queens, because that's what y'all are, kings and queens. It goes without saying that PBC has been single-handedly saving the sport of boxing. If we didn't have the PBC, the boxing would go off into the sunset like an old western. And I'm going to tell you why. First, we got Triller. They tried to break into the market. They wasn't new in the market. Hell, they grossly overpaid $6 million more for a Teofimo Cambosis fight. I think they bid a whopping $8 million for the fight. And Triller, they done had a few backyard brawls and everything, but Triller, they had a fight with Regis Prograis and everything, but they don't have no fighters. And they did put on an exhibition with Roy Jones and Mike Tyson that did great numbers, but that was an exhibition. It's not a fight that we can all walk home to. I mean, we liked it for the entertainment value, but it's not a competitive boxing match. And then they do a lot of that Belfort and that MMA, all that other type of fight stuff. Like, real boxing is like a gimmick boxing. Like, it's not nothing you can really go if you want to see something. I mean, I ain't knocking Triller, but I mean, it's not going to carry the sport of boxing. It just can't. Next, we got BLK Prime. Come on now. BLK Prime. This app right here, who boasted they did so many buys with Terrence Crawford, but only had 5,000 downloads. BLK Prime arguably came in and messed up arguably the biggest fight in the last 40 years, for one. For two, yes, they done signed Terrence Crawford for a one-fight deal for an exorbitant amount, supposedly. Also, signed Adrian Broner to a 3-fight deal for $10 million. And yeah, but one catch is they had a young fighter named Brian Norman on there, and they couldn't get the money to produce his fight for like 6 months. His fight got pushed back like 5 times. Plus, they have 12 bankruptcies, and now it's a new scandal coming through where they're going back and they're double charging people for the Terrence Crawford pay-per-view fight over a month and a half later. So it's some scheming going on there. We already knew that because, you know, they's the hedge fund operators, they say. So BLK Prime, that app with only 6,000 downloads, it's a worse form of the zone. I don't expect it to take off nowhere. And they had to search high and low for a fighter for Adrian Broner. Like, how you gonna have a platform in a company and you ain't even got 5 fighters on your roster? So BLK Prime is really not doing nothing for the sport of boxing except provided Terrence Crawford with the escape route to mess up the biggest fight that everyone's been sitting here waiting on. And that will forever be their stain right there. Then we sitting here with Matchroom and Eddie Hearns. Matchroom and Eddie Hearns are some sneaky people, but they're also known for messing up some of the good fights. Like, we could have had Wilder and Joshua. They didn't want that. Matchroom also had a chance to, how we say this, they got the fighters that are probably making a little buzz overseas. They're not really big in the U.S. And they show a whole lot of boxing matches that we really don't want to see. They got like a few stars. But when they did have Demetrius Andrade, Canelo, and Triple G all on the same network as the Zone, they refused to make the fight. They also had Devin Haney. They refused to give him the big name fights. It was like a protection agency. But they paid them exorbitant amounts of money, the most they've ever been paid. That's why the Zone now is like over $6 billion in debt. Dare I say? I know they had to get another $1 billion grant to help them out. And Eddie Hearns, he wants to be more in the limelight than the fighters. So that's going to be a hard sell right there as well. And Matchroom really ain't holding it up. They're just not holding it up. Now, if you like British and UK fights, Matchroom will give you that. And like when you see them on the zone, they have like 12 fights of a bunch of nobodies that you really want to see. Top Rank. Now, Top Rank, I do say this. They have great fighters on Top Rank. They do. But they're in the development stages. Top Rank like watching a boxing game on story mode. Like you have great fighters there, young Olympians and all that. But they're at the beginning of their career. They're still in the prospect stage. Top Rank gives us great fighters, little young fighters, but they're overmatched against their opponents. Like 6-38 versus 6-0, 7-0 versus 38-35. Like, I get it. These are nice young kids out there, but it's none of the fights are competitive. They're giving us all easy 3,000 minus lines in the Vegas gambling because Top Rank is not putting together no tough fights. And even when Terrence Crawford there, it was no tough fights. You can't name a 50-50 fight Top Rank has made. Or Matchroom. Triller, none of them. They're not putting on the fights. They're just giving us a big bowl of chitlins and telling us it's kosher. Now, maybe they might up it up with the addition of Devin Haney and maybe put Shakur versus Devin or Devin versus Loma. But Top Rank, they gave us Valdez versus Shakur. They really didn't want to do that. But you can't really name too many fights. And Wilder, he started off versus Fury without Top Ranking them. They jumped on the bandwagon after Tyson Fury got the draw. Yeah, Top Ranks, and they like to keep it in-house, so it's not a lot of competitive fights over there. Unless you look at the smaller divisions. And they're not fighting each other all the time. And Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya had the keys to the city. He just got pickpocketed. He dropped it. He wanted to party and have fun and didn't want to worry about business. Don't get me wrong, Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins were hellified fighters in their day. They were fearless. They're legends. They're Hall of Famers. But as managers, they suck. And Oscar is now holding a grudge against Floyd, the PBC, and all that. But Oscar, you did the same thing to Floyd when he built up Canelo. Then you backdoored him and y'all went to HBO, remember? So it's not good as the goose and the gander. But yeah, Oscar, he was mismanaging the fighters. Rick Schaefer and them and Al Heyman and them, they got up out of there. They built the PBC, which was amazing. Golden Boy only has 5-6 good fighters. They got Alexis Rocha, Virgil Ortiz. They got Zurdo Ramirez, Ryan Garcia. And really, that's about it. And Blair the Flair Cobb, I guess. But Oscar, he's sitting there trying to overprice his fighters like they're A-side material when they're not. And see, that's the part, like with Jaime Munguia. He's sitting there valuing their fights and basically talking people out of a good fight. Because the people are not going to bend to the will of Golden Boy and the zone, period. Case in point, the Tank and Ryan fight. It's a big fight. If Ryan loses, his name will still get value just because he lost the Tank. But Oscar, he's demanding that the rematch be put on the zone. First off, Tank is a certified pay-per-view star. Ryan has not sold a pay-per-view. He has not sold out a venue. He has not sold out an arena. And see, that's the problem with Oscar De La Hoya. He's on cloud 9. He needs to lay off what he's on and start thinking logically and financially. I mean, he got fighters like Zurdo that can fight 44 trash cans, and when he finally get in there with a fighter, get messed up every round. And Jaime Munguia is another one. And Oscar talked him right out of a championship fight. That's what I'm saying. Oscar's just trying to get at the PBC. He's not trying to make fights. And they can't make fights in-house. So none of these companies are doing anything except Al Heyman in the PBC. Yes, Al Heyman in the PBC. They are single-handedly putting boxing on their back, carrying boxing to the level where it needs to be. They're giving us the best fight the best. When you on a PBC, you ain't got no duck claws. They make everybody fight everybody. You had Thurman. He fought Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. You got Danny Garcia fought Sean Porter, Earl Spence, Keith Thurman. You got Sean Porter. Sean Porter done fought everybody. Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. You got warriors over there on the PBC. You got 50-50 fights on the PBC. You got Jermell Charlo, Tony Harrison, 1 and 2. 50-50 fights. You got fights like Jamel and Castano, undisputed. You got fights over there. We got Benavidez and Caleb Plant coming up. We had Tank and Garcia, Hector, right there. We're getting the fights over here. Spence Ugas, Spence Garcia. Coming up, Spence Thurman. PBC ain't ducking no wreck. PBC is giving you the fights that keep boxing going. Deontay Wilder versus anybody. Ortiz versus anybody. Ruiz versus anybody. The PBC has strapped the boxing world to his back. Now just think, if we didn't have the PBC, what type of fights would we have out here now? Yeah, but everybody want to sit there and get at the PBC and talk crap about the PBC. But the PBC is our knight in shining armor, because without the PBC, boxing would be nothing. And I'd like to thank Al Heyman and the PBC for always coming through and showing out and giving us the best fights, because that's what the PBC do. And this is Up Echelon. Y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and I'm out.